Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Bill Gates, Chairman of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors.
And I'm Stephen Richard, the Maricopa County Recorder.
And again, the board and the recorder run elections here in Maricopa County as a team, and we're very excited about how things are going today on election day. We had all 223 vote centers have opened. We've already had over 45,000 people who have checked in and already voted today. We did want to come out and discuss one issue that's going on out there in about 20% of the vote centers. Again, we have 223 vote centers across the county. In about 20% of those, when people will go and they try and run the ballot through this tabulator, maybe 1 out of every 5 or so of those ballots, they're not going through. But this is something we've prepared for. We have a redundancy. If the ballot will not go through this tabulator, and by the way, those ballots that go through this tabulator, they go back here in the machine. If their ballot's not going through the tabulator, then we will ask them to go here at door number 3 and place their ballot into this secure box. Those ballots will remain secure in there all day long, and at the end of voting after 7 p.m., when everything is completed, then these ballots will be taken out securely and delivered by a bipartisan team, so Republican and Democrat, down to here at the Central Tabulation Center where they will be tabulated.
And while this is obviously not how the system was designed, this is a fail-safe that functions the exact same way as early voting, which you know we have been going through for the past 26 days. So in early voting, a ballot comes back in its envelope. Once we've barcode scanned that and signature verified it, then we take it into our tabulation center. In much the same way, ballots that are deposited in drawer 3 here will be brought to our central facility. They won't need to be they won't need to be signature verified, they won't need to be barcode scanned, and so they will just be fed directly into the tabulators tonight. Now, this is the same model that the majority of other counties use. Maricopa County has implemented this tabulate at the precincts system for some time, and the majority of voting locations still afford that. But for those that do not have that option, it can go into drawer 3.
Thank you, Stephen. And with that, we're happy to take any questions.
People say being told, leave the ballot with someone, don't worry about it. Is that safe? Is that what they should be being told to do? If they have a ballot, what do they do if their tabulator is not working?
Yeah, so once they have checked in, they've voted that ballot. If for some reason it's not going through the tabulator, we're asking them to put it into door 3. That is the secure process that we have in place. And like Stephen just said, that's how the majority of counties in Arizona handle it.
Is it 20 vote centers or 20%?
We have about 20%, so those numbers have shifted a little
about
bit.
40 vote centers then.
Somewhere
That's
around
more
there,
accurate.
yeah,
40 vote
yeah.
centers, about 20%. I know people are going to say, okay, shouldn't this have all been perfect? So walk me through the testing on this, and I guess what happened?
So again, yeah, we test these machines. That's part of the process. We go through it for every election. And in this particular instance, this is something, we didn't anticipate, like Stephen said, but we have the redundancies in place. And it's also important for people to know that we've got techs out there. They're doing what they can to get these back online. But remember, it isn't like it's not like both of the tabulators in this 20% of locations are having these issues. May only be one. Again, it may be 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5. So the key for everyone to understand is everyone is still getting to vote. No one is being disenfranchised, and we've got redundancies in place.
Are these tabulators widespread? Is this one specific area? Are you finding it all
They're
over?
they're not in one particular area of the county. They're dispersed.
So you have folks online saying, don't push the green button if you put your ballot in the box, don't put it in box 3. What do you say to these people?
Again, there are 2 options. One is feeding it through the tabulator. That's how people choose to do it. If that's not working, then we're asking for them to put it into door 3. This is secure, and it's going to be brought down here by a bipartisan board, so a Republican and a Democrat, and it will be counted here this evening, so that vote that goes into number 3 will be reported either tonight or early in the morning.
And what is this green button that they're referencing? They're saying, don't push the green button if your ballot is not read correctly. Can you clear that up for folks that may be confused?
Yeah, so this is the cast button there. Again, that's we're not asking for the people to do that.
That relates to if you overvote a contest. So for instance, on the judicial retention elections, if you voted both yes and no, the machine would say, that's an overvote. Do you want to override that, or do you want your ballot to be back out such that you can correct that? The voter has the option to press the green button and override that, but that does not relate to the current issue that we're addressing.
How are you communicating to poll workers on site to make sure that they are communicating this effectively to all of the folks that are in line and are having concerns about how this is being handled?
Yeah, so we've got a team here that's making sure that that's being communicated out to the poll workers. We have troubleshooters who are out there who are participating in it. So we have a, communication coming out of this center to make sure that they're getting the same message out there across all of our 223 vote locations.
You spent much of the last 2 years trying to convince the people here in Maricopa County that the election, 2020 was valid, that your systems in place are secure. How worried are you that, an hour and a half into today, you already have these real issues that could be manipulated or, turned into reasons for people to once again not trust the system?
I think we're very concerned about that, and that's why we have this convening right now, and that's why we're trying to put out this message right now that it is going to look in some of these voting locations like the other Arizona counties. Obviously, it's disappointing, and yes, undoubtedly some people will exploit it for that purpose. We will continue to do what we've done the last 2 years, which is just offer correct information, offer accurate information.
We have the techs out there, I know they're working on it, but how long do we expect this problem to last?
Not sure at this point. Again, we're addressing it, and we'll get those up as soon as possible. But again, no one is being disenfranchised. That is the important thing. And none of this indicates any fraud or anything of that sort. This is a technical issue, and we have a redundancy for it, and we're utilizing it.
Is it the same issue happening at every polling center, or is it different issues across the board?
Yes, the same issue.
And have you been able to remedy it at any of those centers?
We have been able to remedy it at some centers. Again, we are absolutely laser focused on this to do what we can to get these addressed. But again, people, if they, we also want to talk about the lines that are out there, okay? We're finding that this is not something that's generating a bunch of long lines out there. I think the longest wait maybe 30 or 40 minutes, which again, in a big election like this, a lot of attention. Those are very, short lines. And again, we encourage people to go to locations.maricopa.vote to see what the status is on those lines and where the shortest lines are nearest to them.
And you might have touched on this already, but why exactly are the tabulators not functioning how they're supposed to?
And so that is something that the techs are trying to determine. If I tried to explain it, my name is Bill Gates, but I don't think that would go over well. So.
Stephen, are you guys done with this? Anybody have any questions if I grab one of you for an interview?
Hang on 2 seconds. So do you want, let's take 2 more questions, please.
Has something like this happened in previous elections?
Well, I'm not sure if it's happened before. The number of vote centers that we have a very large number of vote centers. So, by definition, there can be more hiccups, more vote centers. But again, that's the beauty of the vote center model is with 223, there are many, the large majority of them, that are not experiencing these issues at all.
So there are often technical issues with election administration. This particular issue is not something that we've seen in recent election administrations.
Stephen, do you think we could pull you aside here if everybody's done with this press
I'm
conference?
just
Here,
gonna
we're
do
about
one
wrapped
more.
up. Guys, if you're just now watching, this is live television. I think we're finished with this press conference. Clearly, this is a fluid
All right,
situation.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Stephen, do you
Okay.
mind coming